Hey guys, welcome back to my series on my experience in ATI. Today I'm going to talk about purity and purity culture. So my experience with purity culture was that we were to never touch. Boys and girls don't touch, don't kiss, nothing until the marriage day. This was heavily emphasized. And of course there was I Kissed Dating Goodbye by Josh Harris at the time. And we all believe that if we stay pure, that God would protect us and bless our marriage. Everyone's marriage. All the kids. I'm pretty sure all of us believed in it. At least the really serious kids did. So coupled with that though was absolutely no training on sexual anatomy, issues that could come up once you are married, and there was a lack of education as far as preventing pregnancy. There were some ATI booklets that would talk about preventing pregnancy, but it was usually like, don't have sex during your period, and that's basically it, or the times around your period. So with that came a lot of kids who suppress their sexuality. So you naturally have these desires, sexual desires, right? Like that's how our bodies work biologically. It's just, that's a fact. And instead of working through that and in a healthy way, releasing the pressures of wanting to have sex even though you couldn't, it was just like, nope, no masturbation, nobody does anybody, don't even think about it, and if you think about it, that's a sin. Which again, they tried to use scripture to justify that line of thinking, but that's not, looking back, that's not what scripture says on sex or masturbation for sure. And so a lot of young people would get married, and because your brain and your body don't just like flip a switch, it's not like biologically your body's like, oh, now it's fine to have sex. There were a lot of young people who had issues with being able to perform in bed, and there's actually a really great book called Pure. I'll link it down below. You guys can look it up or read it. I listened to the audiobook and it was really, really good. It's a book on basically the after effects of purity culture and how it affected people in their day-to-day life and being able to perform sexually. So it definitely put virginity on a pedestal, that if you are a virgin on your wedding night, that you are a good person and right before God. That's obviously not true. I don't believe that at all. I don't think that your sexual activity has anything to do with salvation, and I don't think that it's going to harm you. I think what will harm you, or what can harm a person, is not having the proper education on, here's what a healthy sexual lifestyle looks like, this is what an unhealthy sexual lifestyle looks like. I say that because even within marriage, there would be couples, who abstained until they got married, and then once they got married, there was marital rape, and just a lot of other unhealthy issues with that, that because there was no education on what is healthy and what is unhealthy, they thought, well, this is what marriage is like, this is what I'm expected to do, I'm just expected to put out no matter what, or this is uncomfortable for me, but I shouldn't say no. Consent was never discussed. As a matter of fact, I remember being taught that if your spouse needs to have sex, that you're just supposed to do it whether you wanted to or not, which is really unhealthy. Um, so being able to work through that, I have worked through those issues of what I was taught. It's hard. Definitely the Duggars, when they had, the oldest son had been found out that he had been molesting his siblings, and then they sent him off to one of the ATI training camps. I think it was the one in Oklahoma. And then when it came out that he was looking for, he'd reached out on a website where you can basically cheat on your spouse. He had been reaching out to someone. That did not surprise me. That did not surprise me because of the way that ATI handled and disseminated sexual education. And I think what he did was really wrong, and it was cruel to his siblings. But that kind of extreme virginity and extreme looking at being pure is that is a consequence. That is a natural consequence of those belief systems. So yeah, that's kind of where I land on, well, not where I land, but that's my experience with purity, and especially like the whole purity culture and virginity. It's not good. I think there needs to be a balance. I think that young people need to understand what sex is, and if they're going to have sex, they need to understand, like, here's the consequences of having sex without using protection, and STDs, things like that. And then, as an adult, I don't think it's anyone's business what you do and do not do inside of your home. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say on that. Anyways, I hope that you guys found it informational. If you have questions, you can message me or comment down below. I may or may not be able to answer all questions because there's just certain topics I'm not comfortable talking about, but I will try to answer them as best as I can. And then again, if you're interested in understanding why I think purity culture is really damaging, that book, Pure, is a great resource. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.